Hey everybody, it's Brandon showing you how I am learning the CharaChorder One. Now I've had my CharaChorder for about 2 weeks at this point, and I've been researching all over the place how to type on a CharaChorder One. There's not a lot of instructions on how do you just pick this up and start typing. It takes a little bit of skills to get going, or a little bit of knowledge. And so these are the principles that I'm using to learn how to use the CharaChorder, and some typing tips that I'm going to share that hopefully will help you along your journey with your CharaChorder. So if you are looking at buying this, make sure you're going down to the bottom and looking at the affiliate link. It has a 20% off discount. This little keyboard right here will be the most expensive keyboard you probably ever buy, so you want to make sure that you're getting the most savings from your purchase. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when you either purchase or get your CharaChorder One, I recommend doing it before you actually get the device, is learn where the letters are. So when you put your hands on the keys for the first time, you already kind of know that if I take my right hand index finger and move it to the left, that is going to be the A key. So you want to go ahead and kind of know about where all the keys are. You're not going to move quick by any stretch of the imagination, but from a frustration perspective of just sitting down and expecting yourself to know where these keys are, it's not really realistic. So if you've gone ahead and memorized those with flashcards or whatever method you want to use, I think that has really made a world of difference for me and helped me better pick up how I'm learning the CharaChorder and how I'm typing on the CharaChorder. Once you've got the letters down pat, so I memorized all the letters and I've been practicing consistently. The order of operation for what to do next, in my humble opinion at this point, is I've memorized the letters. I'm then going to memorize the special characters. So think of your period, your comma, your exclamation point. I'm going to learn where all of those are. And then I'm going to work on my numbers. Where is the 1, 2, 3? Thinking those will go pretty quick the way that it's designed. And after that, and only after I've kind of gotten a good handle on where all the individual keys are, whether it's a special character, a letter, or a number, only then am I really going to start memorizing chords. And that's where you're really going to pick up a lot of your speed with the CharaChorder, but I think that it's also important not to rush this process. You don't want to jump directly into chording if you don't know where the letters are. If you're having a hard time pressing one letter, knowing exactly where that one is, chances of you hitting 2 or 3 at the same exact time to create that chord is going to be really challenging for you. So make sure that you are giving the right time to learn the letters, the special characters, and then you're starting to go into where those chords are at and memorizing, okay, if I press these 3 at the same time, it's going to pop this up, because that's where you're really going to see the speeds. Now, my practice strategy, and I think this is important for everybody, is you're going to want to practice for 30 to 60 minutes per day. My initial go-to was the Launchpad that CharaChorder has put out, specifically designed for the CharaChorder. So the different programs that it's going to walk you through, they're a little junior sometimes. So the first one is just going to go through all of the letters. So as I said, memorize your letters first, or your characters. That's going to be the first amalgamate exercise that you're going to go through. From there, it's going to give you different groupings on word combinations it thinks are best for you. And there's 3 of these that you're going to go through. And I think it's important, if you've already memorized where they are, that you can go through these fairly quickly. So I'm at week 2, and I'm getting ready to start moving into the special characters at this point, because I feel really comfortable with where the keys are. I am not typing 100 words per minute at this point, but I feel good knowing that I can add more. I've also been mixing in Keybr, and that is KEYBR.com, which is a different third-party website that is really focusing on the 6 letters that are most used in the alphabet. I think if you're going to start learning letters, the 6 most used ones is probably a great place to start. I don't necessarily understand how they're advancing me. I've been doing that for at least a week now, and I've got pretty good confidence scores from the algorithm it has on how I'm doing, but it hasn't added a new letter yet. The good news is when I research this online, I can go in and add letters that I need to, or that I want to expand to. So I'm probably going to go in and just start advancing myself in Keybr, because I want to start learning more. I feel like I've got a really good handle on the initial 6. I'm ready for the next challenge in their system. The great thing with Keybr as well is if there's certain keys that you struggle with, like for me, if I'm trying to do the O and the U at the same time, I can go into Keybr and say, I want to see a lot more of the U, and it's going to allow me to be able to practice those problem keystrokes for me, or those problem presses that I'm making on the CharaChorder, it's going to help me really focus in on those and hopefully refine that letter or that special character so that I'm hitting it more easily and without any problems and just getting my finger to move in that position. The next thing I'll say is watch your hand placement on the CharaChorder. So when you're on the CharaChorder, you're going to want to make sure that you have a slight arch and your fingertips are on the actual joystick. From there, make sure that it just feels comfortable. I am sitting in a hotel room right now, so my chair is much too low. If I was practicing this, you'd see I'd have a pillow on me to get my wrist up more at the correct angle for this. But you want to make sure that you're sitting up properly, have your fingers where they feel like they're in the middle of the joystick, and then you're not going to press the joystick. So with keys, I think we have to untrain the brain a little bit, and I have to remind myself of this often, that I am moving a joystick up, down, sideways, and I'm just sliding the joystick. There's no click that's really involved to it. It's more of a slide feature. From there, once you learn the individual keys, you can start playing with doing 2 at one time, which is a really cool thing when you actually get it down pat. I haven't quite mastered that just yet, but for instance, you can do T and A at the same time with a circular half shell motion on the outside. So that is a more advanced, but don't be scared to start practicing, especially when you're in these different modules. I think we can get hung up on our score or where we're doing, how many orange letters we have on the right-hand screen with Launchpad. Don't be scared to practice during this time and take a risk and try things. That's how your fingers are going to learn the muscle memory to sit down and to be able to hit the keys when you need them. From there, I feel like that's where we get back into some more of the basic keyboarding principles is don't look at your fingers. So when you have your hands on the CharaChorder, you don't want to be looking down here to see what they're doing. There's nothing to see anyway. It's not like a normal keyboard where you can see where the letters are if you move your hand. If I take my hand off the CharaChorder, I still have no idea what is there. The Launchpad does have at the bottom of the screen the keyboard listed for you, and it will even highlight where that key is. I personally recommend turning that feature off because you want to memorize it, and that comes with being a little uncomfortable sometimes and not knowing exactly where that function is. You're also going to receive with your CharaChorder, if you watch the CharaChorder unboxing video, you saw that there is a sheet of paper that's also going to show you where all of the characters are and what is actually the CharaChorder can do. I would also not use that more than you have to because you want to start memorizing and building that muscle memory. So try to learn those before you actually, start taking on learning this device so that you don't have to look at the cheat sheet once you get your personal CharaChorder. And then I've learned that sometimes I just need to slow myself down. I get in this habit of trying to be the fastest CharaChorder One typer out there, and sometimes I need to focus on my form. I need to focus on how is this going, slow myself down, and focus on just getting the keystrokes correct or the joystick movements correct. Because if I go too fast, I can lose what the form that I'm going for. And practice in this situation doesn't make perfect, it's going to make permanent. Practice will make permanent. If you practice the CharaChorder wrong, that is how your fingers are going to learn it, especially if you do it repetitively. So make sure that you take those moments to slow yourself down, give yourself a little bit of grace, know that errors are absolutely going to happen, and focus on just getting it right. And the other thing that I've learned, and this one I have learned the hard way several times, is know when it's time to stop practicing. Sometimes I get in the habit and I just keep going. The way that the trainings are set up, there's not really a start or stop. You just keep typing. And I have to sometimes be like, I am way too tired. My eyes are falling asleep. I'm not processing the letters. Or maybe I'm just getting really frustrated because I'm not getting that U key the way that I want it to on the CharaChorder. I need to know when, for me, is the right time to pause my studies, to pause my practicing, take a cool off period, maybe get some sleep, come back the next day, feeling more refreshed and hopefully seeing improvement. But practicing when you're really not into it or you're really not doing well is not the right way to go about practicing because it will make it permanent. Know yourself, give yourself some grace, and if it's time for a break, give yourself a break. All right, everyone, so I hope that these typing tips for the CharaChorder One are helpful for all of you. This is what I'm really going through. I'll let you know later on if I feel like they're working or things that I would tweak to it, but right now, seems to be doing really good for me.